Welcome back, everyone. We're here today with the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast, episode 148. If you want to check out all the show notes, head on over to ihp.coach/148 or /podcast to see all the previous podcasts. Every single Monday, we're bringing you tactical information on how to grow your practice, grow your business, create a career that you love. And on Thursdays, you're actually hearing from a real-world practitioner and how they built success into their practice as well. We always teach basically a win-win-win on this Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast, and that is basically a program where you put the client first, and if they do well, then you do well. And if you're working for another company or as part of a network, which we talked about last week, everybody wins. So that's always the goal. Now, after last week's show, which was actually quite popular, and I didn't know that it would be, but it was a question that actually we got from our business mentorship. So I guess I should have known that if one person has it, obviously many people do. So if you didn't check out last week's show, definitely check that out, as how to create your own simple network. Remember, it doesn't take a lot of clients in order to build a very successful practice. Great way to do it is referrals from current clients. But how do you get those clients in the first place? I talk about that on last week's show. So definitely check that out. Now, this is a follow-up to last week's show. You can listen to this one first, then go back to 146. That'll be fine as well. Again, all the shows are at ihp.coach/podcasts. And if you haven't already, and if you're not an integrative health practitioner, I would definitely check out what's going on over the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, because the level of success that our practitioners are having does seem to be as a bit of an outlier in the industry. And I believe that's because we're not just teaching the actual protocols as to how people get well, but actually how to implement those as well, how to create a real practice. So today what I wanted to share with you is a fun little headline called "Throw Out Your Business Cards and Do This Instead." Now, there is a mobile business card. I'll probably do that on a future podcast, but you have to be in person in order to send that. Last week, I brought up something called a rack card, and people hadn't heard really of this before. So what a rack card is picture like a bookmark, like a little thin bookmark, right? That you might get with like a book sometimes, the old paper ones. But this is actually a 4x9 inch. So it's almost the same size, but it's 4 inches wide. So here's my phone right here. It's actually my replacement phone. My new phone actually broke. It's too bad, but it's okay. So you got your phone right here, but picture it just being a couple inches taller. And it actually sits inside of a plastic holder. So it's a piece of paper, but it's a thick cardstock, and it's 4x9. And not usually, we always used to put 10, no more, no less, and I'll teach you why in just a moment, in all of the different locations within our network. So again, definitely check out last week, but think about it. We put it in a chiropractor's office, nail salon, hair salon, massage therapist, acupuncturist, personal trainer, massage therapist, you name it, right? So we've got a rack card holder in all of these locations, and it's a 4x9, beautiful 4-color. 4-color just means that 4-color means it includes all of the colors of the rainbow, CMYK. You don't need to know what that means. And it held up straight in a plastic holder, so they weren't just laid down flat on a desk. Now, we also did the same thing with local coffee shops, with local like grab-and-go food stores. We took their, not necessarily their flyer, but their coupon or whatever it might be, and we'd post it to our community board in person, but we had these beautiful rack card holders, and they let us just put it kind of like where the napkins were, things like that. So we had these all over the city, and every one of my team members was kind of responsible for like a half a dozen locations. And we always put 10. So why 10? Well, that we would know how many were taken. If you just randomly put in 2 and it's gone, you're like, whoa, no, everybody took them. Well, you don't really know. So once a week, they would just stop in and they would have a stack and they would refill it to 10 and they would write down how many were taken. And some locations we learned were more hotspots than others. And this worked incredibly well. So again, my goal is, I feel very fortunate to have been able to create multiple thriving practices to help hundreds of thousands of people, well over 250,000 people, and still doing it today, but virtually. And so what I'm trying to do is teach the future generations, the next generations, how to build a successful career, because in my opinion, it's the most amazing field in the world. So whether you're in health in general, again, like personal training, esthetician, yoga, massage, whatever it might be, you're helping people to achieve their goal. So now let me bring that to the rack card. what was the rack card used for? The rack card was there to catch someone's attention, to share with them much more information than I could on a business card. They looked much more professional. So I want to teach you exactly what I would put on a rack card for you. So take a little sip of water there. What I would do is the thing that grabs people's attention the most, there's actually two things. One, it's a headline. Two, it's an image. So at the very top of the rack card, we would put a headline. I shared this last week on the show, but in the late 90s and early 2000s, when I was starting out, I worked in nutrition and I worked in personal training. So I essentially did body transformation. Like that was what I was known for. I was like, I will help you achieve any weight loss or muscle gain goal, and I'll help you do it as fast as humanly possible. Like that is what I studied. That's what I knew how to do. And so that's what I advertised. Now, did I start working with other people at different goals? Sure, absolutely. I mean, no doubt about it, but that was like 80% of my clientele. So I put that on the rack card. And at the top of the rack card, it was, we had multiple of them. One, because we tested different headlines. One was look and feel amazing. The second one, and then it would show success stories at the top. So it'd show like one man and a woman before and after. And the second one was just a weight loss one. So we would help someone lose up to, we would typically say like 10 pounds in 21 days. Now, we could help people lose more than that, believe it or not, but we didn't want to make it like absolutely outrageous. But I knew that I could help people lose 10 pounds in 21 days. And I would guarantee that. So the guarantee means they actually have to follow the plan, but we would guarantee that. And so then, again, we have the images below. And you don't have to do this. I'm just giving you an example. I mean, you could be an esthetician, you could be a chiropractor. And you just want to, what I'm saying is you want your headline to be the big benefit. What's a client going to get by working with you? Like, what do they want? Not like, hey, I'm the #1 personal trainer. No. Like, what do they want, right? So the people who came to me wanted to lose weight for the most part and get leaner. But it was also like, they want to feel great, right? So like, I put that in there. And then we've got the image, have it be whatever you want, not a stock photo, like, real photo. You could also like show your location. Then below that, that's like the top like 3 or 4 inches. Then below that, some bullet points of what you do, like nutrition plan, meal plans, exercise, personal training, like whatever it might be. Like, okay, here's what you're gonna get. And then at the very bottom, the last, let's say 2.5, 3 inches, would be like twice the size of a business card. But it would be, it would say free consultation. And then, or say complimentary consultation. And then they would have, back then, a phone number to call or an email address or a website, right? Now, you can use a QR code, easy, like anything that you want to do. All right, so that's one side. And again, make it your own. You can look up all sorts of designs, by the way, just by going to the old Google and typing in rack card design, right? If I still had my old studio designs, I would certainly share that with you, no doubt about it. Now, on the back side, it was a little bit different. And I would also talk about how we work with a limited number of clients. I would talk a little bit about my background and a little bit of the studio history in our clients and how we would help them create these personalized programs just for them. Then again, you can decide what you want to put on the back of that. I would show a photo of myself so they would be able to say, oh, this is a real person behind this, right? And then again, at the bottom, I would say, hey, contact us for your complimentary consultation to see if this is the right fit for you. No obligation complimentary consultation. And like we accept, one new client per week. Like that's something like that. And so this was what we did every single year in and year out. And it did work. Like there's no doubt about it. And it still works to this day. So, why I wanted to share that with you is that a business card is small and they get lost really easily. But also, there's only so much real estate that you can put on it, right? It's a business card is what, like 2 by 3 inches, something like that. I don't know the exact size, but it's something like that. So if you think about it, on your business card, if it's tacked up on a board, you only get to see the front of it. So you need to put your business name, your name, a QR code, or an address, or an email, or all of those things on this tiny little business card. Right? It's going to get lost. So when you're purchasing a rack card, they cost, it's probably like $200 for like 2,000. So I don't even know the math on that, but it's like 10 cents like rack card, right? So what I'm saying is it's worth it. You get the plastic rack card holders. You can put them in a lot of different locations, and you're able to then share more about your business. And the thing is this, even if you are tacking them up on a board, a community board, you have a 4x9 rack card, which looks super professional, meaning like you put more money into it. Obviously not a lot more, it's only 10 cents or so, but more went into it, more thought went into it. It's beautifully designed. And now when a client's choosing between this business card or this beautifully designed rack card, they're like, well, this person looks more professional, right? And so you always want to give yourself a leg up to a new client that doesn't know who's the best person to choose. Like you want to look the most professional. So I want to give you another tip because again, my job is to always make sure that I can give you as much tactical information as possible. That's how I like to make the Cabral Concept, my health podcast, and that's how I like to make it for all of our IHPs and everyone who isn't even an IHP as well who listens to this show. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Fiverr, Fiverr.com, all right? Fiverr, that's what it's called. It used to be any job you want for basically $5, right? And there are a lot of design-based jobs. So I'm not saying you're going to get your whole rack card designed for $5, but you might get a design for like $30. That's pretty fantastic, right? So, because you're probably not a designer. I'm not a designer. You're probably not a designer, right? I'm a personal trainer, nutritionist, strength and conditioning specialist. I'm certified in yoga, golf conditioning, everything under the sun, and I'm a board certified doctor of naturopathy, right? I don't have any design skills, right? That's the bottom line. And so I want you to accumulate your certifications and knowledge and not have to worry about designing your own rack cards, right? You can work with a client for $90 or $180 or whatever it might be and pay a designer, excuse me, $30 to create your rack card. And you're going to get to see all sorts of different designs. So what I typically do is on a Word document, all I'll do is draw a box, like a 4x9 outline of a rectangle using the shapes. And I'll rudimentary either draw in and take a photo with my phone. Yes, that's what I do sometimes. Or I'll just design it in Word, or I use Pages because I'm on a Mac. And then I send that to the designer. And they make it look beautiful. And they do a phenomenal job. I gather them the images, or you can ask them like, hey, I want one that looks like someone's exercise and whatever it might be. But I always find that if I gather the images for them, it's that much faster. And you can use royalty-free photos. Like I use bigstockphotos.com. So you can go to bigstockphotos.com or any of the others and you pay like $9 maybe a month and you can use any of the images that you want for social media or for whatever it might be. Again, I'm not a legal person, so you'll have to look up that yourself, but that's an easy way to do it. So basically for like $30, you'll be able to have a beautifully designed rack card designed for you. And again, I don't know the country that you're in, but what you'll want to do then is go into Google and just type in rack card printing. That's it. And your local Staples might show up. Your local, I don't even know what other places print besides the Staples, maybe like a FedEx or something like that. I have no idea. But I do all of mine online. And so what you could do is you can actually go to these different organizations that actually just allow you to upload your PDF of your rack card, the front side and the back side. And then they send you a proof through digitally, like, hey, does this look good? You say yes, and then you pay for it, and they ship you those in the mail. And you'll get 100, you'll get 1,000, you'll get as many as you want. They come very compact, so 2,000 isn't even that big a box. And then online, you just go to plastic rack card holders. That's all you need to look up. And these hold 4x9 rack cards. Now, you can put these in all of the locations that I told you to in episode 146, and that will allow you to look super professional. So I wanted to share that with you today. Again, just keep in mind, the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast is about you. Any questions you have about building an ethical business where you can help clients, help get them great results, I want to help you with that. But keep in mind, you have to be able to get the clients first. So that's why what we've done here is that we now have over 5,000 practitioners inside the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute. We want to help you create the career you love. We want to help you be successful. And so ask the questions. You ask the questions, we're going to be able to answer them on the weekly show. So take care, everyone. If you wouldn't mind leaving a review for the show, we would love that. We truly appreciate it. Thanks so much. Take care. And as always, do feel free to share the show with any of your colleagues you believe it could help. Take care.